welcome back to Happily Handmade. I'm Wendy, and today, as you can see, we are, well, I'm planning on trying to do a bit of a page out of the new Rita Berman Asian book that is so lovely. Such a lovely book, isn't it? Some really lovely pages. So I've been umming and ahhing about this book, and there's a number of pages I'm really very tempted, but I thought I'd do something that is a bit quicker and we could do in stages a little bit easier. So if I can find it, I've just turned to it straight away 3 times, but now I want it. No, can I find it? Yes, I can, because I'm going to do this page. So I thought I'd do some of these lovely kind of decorative kind of Japanese ladies, because I thought these were really beautiful, and they've got the little cute lucky cat in as well. So I thought I'd give these a go. But first, let's sort my annoying blind out, just a sec. Okay, so now I can see without the blinding sunlight in the background. So yeah, I thought I'd do this lovely page. Might work my way down the Little Women, but what I was thinking of doing was using my new Tim Holtz woodless watercolour pencil to have a go at this. I've only swatched them in the textured watercolour paper that I did the swatch on, so I thought it might be quite interesting. Obviously Rita Berman's books are beautifully smooth paper, so I thought it might work quite nicely to see what they're like on this paper, as well as doing a little colour along. So I think I'm going to start on one of these. I start on this one on the end, and give it a go. So I'll bring you a bit closer up to her, if we can still come across a bit, that would be helpful. There we go. Will that stay like that? Yeah, not too bad. There we go. Okay, so just colour schemes. So I'm thinking a little bit of pink. So in this line, in terms of pinks, there's only the 2. I might get away with using that one as well. So there is Kitsch Flamingo, Pickled Raspberry, and I'm thinking a little bit of Tattered Rose, even though that does have a brown tinge to it. Might be an interesting set to work on some of this as a kind of background. I'm just going to sharpen these because, as you can see, I've got them pretty blunt at the moment, and some of this is quite small, so I'm just going to pause and sharpen them, and then I'll be okay. All sharpened. It's a little bit wasteful sharpening them, but does make life a little bit easier that you can get into some of the sections. So just making a decision about where this is going to go. So I'm going to put the darker bits just on the edge, I think. I've not decided whether I'm going to wet these or whether I might see how they go and just work with them dry, really. Learning curve, not used them before really, so this could go badly wrong with not a clue what I'm doing with this item, but we'll see. Yeah, I wish this was a little bit darker. This, which one is this? Kitsch Flamingo. Yeah, maybe I will wet them, I think, because I want that to blend a bit better than it does. Let's get my bit of paper. Okay, this could go. This could be a disaster or amazing. Who knows? Please don't ruin my Rita Berman book before I've even started in it. They do dissolve nicely, these. I'm quite pleased with how they dissolve. Just the pale ones seem to vanish a little bit, so if you want a lighter section, which I did there, I've got to be careful you don't go mad with the darker one. That's not too bad, is it? I'm thinking I'll move my light a little bit because I'm kind of casting a shadow with my hand on. Is that better? Yes. Okay, so apparently I am dissolving it, even though I didn't know. How far down does that go? Is that part of the pattern, that little bit? I think it must be. So yeah, these have only just arrived today whilst I'm doing this. These watercolour pencils. I think I saw them last Saturday. Tim was obviously showing them in his latest releases YouTube video thing, so I thought, well, obviously I use a lot of colour pencils of various types. Don't use watercolour as much as I do colour pencil, but I do use it. So I thought these would be quite a nice addition to what I already use. I think long term I'll use them with some of my other things. I'm thinking Neo 2s would work well with these, and obviously any other watercolour product really should behave pretty well with these. But yeah, I was quite curious to see how they are on in a colouring book on this kind of paper. So far, so good. Can't talk and blend these two together. Need to concentrate whilst doing this in case it's a disaster. This brush I'm using is, as you could see, an Arteza one. I actually really like this Arteza brush. It's got really quite fine nibs. It's out of a multi-pack one that someone bought me actually. But yeah, this is my second version now of this one because I've used the other one to death and it's looking pretty grotty. But yeah, it's still working, just wanted a neater one. But yeah, so far that's not dissolving too badly, is it? It's a little bit wet, so yeah, not sure what I'm going to do about these lines, but we'll come back to that bit. Now, where else do I want this dark pink? Do I want them in the border or in this starry bit? I suppose it would make more sense in the starry bit, wouldn't it? But kind of wanted to do a pink border on her. Well, we'll go with the starry bit. My dog is tapping about underneath me. You can probably hear heavy breathing and stamping and shaking herself. What's the matter, darling? Hey, what's up? She's not a lover of me having all the lights on for a start, and then me sat here talking to myself. I think she thinks she's a nutter. What's she doing now? Just shut up and get on with what you're doing. Don't think she fully understands, or understands at all, in fact. Why on earth is she sat there talking to herself? Right, back in with the water. I'll get rid of the dust first. They are a little bit dusty, that I have noticed. Which obviously Neo 2s are not dusty. Oh, there's a bad time to poke me, Molly. What do you want now? What do you want? Attention is the answer to that. It's difficult to stroke you and paint and make a video. There we go. Yeah, I've chickened out of using the other one of these. Which one's this? Tattered Rose. So far, it feels a bit brown compared to the other two that I'm using so far. So maybe I'll do the trim on a dress in the other one. But so far, I haven't used it. Ugh, gone out the lines. How annoying. Less speed, more go. See how well it picks back up again. Not brilliantly is the answer to that. It's not too bad. A little bit lighter there, I think. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of this. A lighter one there. Yeah, the dust is annoying. Okay, what else? I'm thinking down here in the pattern of a dress. I'll just pop a bit in there. Sorry, can't talk when I'm using the brush. Need to concentrate. Okay, so what else am I going to put with that? Pinks. Let's have a look. What else have we got? I'm thinking a kind of tealy colour, which leaves me with salvage patina or cracked pistachio. I think I prefer the patina colour. Again, gonna have to shout and sorry. Oops. So now, as you can see, a lot more sharp. Let's keep them out of the way. Not sure how dark this will be when it dissolves. Perhaps should have checked. Oh yeah, still quite dark, isn't it? That will do. Very crumbly. Let's see what that's like before I put loads on and then hate it. So there we go. Yes, not too bad. I'm going to go with it. Actually, I quite like these sharp ones. They're quite smooth on the paper. It's just obviously when you've got wet areas and you've got them bits crumbling everywhere, that's a little bit problematic. Fortunately, I don't think this colour would really affect the pink very much because it's quite pale anyway. So it's not the end of the world if it does go somewhere it shouldn't at the moment. Might have been if I'd picked something a little darker. do I want that the same colour? Nope, I don't think I do. Okay. What about these bits? Didn't go with that bit, I think. And it's crumbling everywhere. That is the beauty of Neos. Not very crumbly. Not in the same way anyway, unless you're sharpening them. Okay, so I think what I'd like is some kind of grey for her hair. What's that? Hickory smoke or ice spruce. Which do I want? Have a look what they're like. Ice spruce is that one. Oh, hickory smoke's down there. I think I prefer the ice spruce, which is this one. And a bit of black, I think, for her hair as well. Again, gonna have to sharpen, sorry. Okay, so we're all sharpened. I'll have to move her down a bit so I can reach. So don't think I want to get her hair too dark because I'm thinking I'm going to work over these areas once I've got a base colour in over the top, I think. Might just darken it a little bit. At the bottom. And under a bow. Okay, right, I might regret doing the hair like this, but we'll see. Can water it out. If not, if it's a disaster, can't we? Just don't want my black to go too far. Into the grey. That's not too bad. Managed to get my leaf black. Not really what I wanted to do. I think it's workable, it's fine. Is this part of her hair? I think it must be, mustn't it? Is it like a bun? I'm going to presume it's a bun. That should be enough, I think. Okay. Right, I think what I'm going to do at this point now is let that dry, because I want to work over it with other things, and at the moment it's a bit wet, so yeah, I'll be back with you in a sec. Sec for you, 20 minutes for me when it's dry. Okay, it's a little bit drier, so I'm just going to work over back with pickled raspberry, back over just to add a bit more darker shadows in on our body to make her look hopefully a little bit more rounded. Well, when I was working with these on the watercolour paper, they didn't seem to layer very nicely over themselves. Once she'd worked over a few times, it started to build up quite funny, but actually on this smoother paper, yeah, they seem a little bit happier to layer back over themselves. Ugh. Although they are quite crumbly. A bit more of that, I think. Just a bit of shadow behind her fan as well. Same with her arm. Oh, the bits are driving me mad. Right. I'm just ignoring this pan at the moment, but I might go over it with a gel pen or something, I think, just to bring those lines back a little bit later. Just want this a bit sharper. Excuse me, turning her upside down. Just need the angle under the fan. A bit of shadow from whatever this bag is as well. Whoop. Oh, sorry dear. My pencil's just nearly landed on my dog's head then. That'll teach you for sitting right there, won't it, darling? She's moved onto her mat now. It's dangerous sitting right near me. And what else? I think under there, down here. Ugh, massive chunks coming off it now. Okay, I want something darker, I think, for this teal bit. What can I use? What's that? The other one? Peacock feathers. That might do. Sharpen it. If I was being sensible now, I'd be catching the sharpenings, because obviously you can use them all for something like this. Peacock feathers, I'm going to go back in to add a little bit of darker tone on top of this bit. Same with this little section. Okay, so I had just, this is what fell on the floor earlier, picked out some little pencils for a skin tone because I'm and ahh'd about skin tone out of these watercolour sticks, but yeah, I think the closest was something like this. What is it? Antique linen, and it's still a bit green, isn't it? And I don't think anybody wants green skin, do they? So I've picked out a couple of my luminants to go with. So burnt ochre 10 and burnt ochre 50, and then a little bit of rose, just to give her a little bit of rosy cheeks as we get going. Let's just get rid of the bits because they're driving me nuts. Also, I need sharpening. Oh, should have done that first. So I'm just going to put a little bit of shadow in with this, the 50% one. Not going to use much because I don't feel she needs a huge amount of this really. Can we see her hands? Yes, a little bit. Can't see her feet or any of the skin, can we? And then I've got burnt ochre 10%. Again, needs a bit of a sharpen. And I think this probably is going to be a bit too dark for her, so once I've got a reasonable coverage, I am going to go over with white just to lighten it. Because this, if I'm honest, is my favoured skin tone combination, but I think for a geisha it's probably too dark a colour. Let's get it blended in first. Where have I put the white? Oh, excuse my creaky chair. The white is getting a bit small. But yeah, just luminance white. I'm literally just going to polish it over to lighten it all again. So it still gives me the tint of the colour that I prefer, but just lightening it back off again. Then the pink I'm using is 571, but I'm only going to use this really quite lightly, just build it up really gradually, just for her cheeks. And same, I'm going to lighten it with white straight after. I might give her a little bit of the same pink on her eyelids, just to match it up a bit. Now I'm going to light one again for her hands. Okay, I need to do something with her hair, I think. Let's nip a little bit dark in there. Okay, so her hair, I need a block pencil. Grey. Mid Okay, so for her hair, I've got out a whole chunk of greys. Some are getting too small. So 004 steel grey, I've got 002 silver grey, 508 panes, and then a black, which is 009. I might not use them all, but it's what I've got in my hand, just in case. So I'm just going to start building up some hair layers, which is easier said than done around all this decorative bits on this side. Same from the top. So it does help having the base of the watercolour underneath, because you obviously don't have to spend as long building up. Normally hair can take me, I mean obviously these are a bit cartoony so it's not quite the same, but hair can take quite a bit of time really to build up the layers and tone that you want in hair, because it's multi-layered really. But this obviously does speed it up quite dramatically for something like this, and it's a nice base tone to work over, and it doesn't seem to have, I mean I've not put loads of water on as you saw, but it's not wrinkled the paper too badly. I can kind of feel it, but it's pretty okay really. Okay. I don't know if you can hear my dog, she's driving me mad. She wants in, but because I've got the lights on to do this, and I can't open the window because my neighbours are doing various DIY jobs that are noisy, so it's quite warm in here. So she insists on coming back in here because I'm in here, but then she's too hot because the lights are on. So we're playing constantly, let me in, let me out, let me in, let me out. It's too hot in there. Can't win. So if you hear her panting, that's why. It's because she's daft and she just won't go out the room. And it is a bit warm with the lights on. Okay. So I just need to do a little bit on her bun. I quite like a little cute bun. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just using the lightest of these, which is 002 Silver Grey. It's quite an opaque colour, this grey, which is why mine is so short. So it's quite useful where you perhaps don't want white, but you just want to knock bits of the black back. So here where I've got a highlight running up to the edge, obviously I don't want a black line right there on the edge, so it's not got rid of it, but it's just knocks it back a bit so it's not quite so in your face. Same with the lines on a bun. Still want the lines there because they're part of the shape of her little bun, but I didn't want them solid black in your face, really loud. Okay, so what else do I want? Maybe a little bit of the darker grey in the bottom there, just to break that black up a little bit. Yeah, fairly happy with that, I think. Let's pop them down. So what else we've got left to do? We've got a bit of trim, we've got this decorative bit, we've got a bow. I think I'll do a bow the same pink as her dress. That makes sense, doesn't it? Back to, oh goodness. Massive chunk of it come off there, can you see? Not really, but they are a bit crumbly. I think that's what I'm going to say about these. They like breaking. Love this colour though. This is such a strong colour. I'm going to keep using this dry, I think. And I could do with, have I got it handy? So this is one of my Holbeins, again super short now, just about safe, but it's rose pink. It's nearly lost. 429. I'm just going to use this as a light tone with these Distress crayons, because the lighter one of this is, it's a bit of a jump, and this is quite good at pulling other colours out. I don't know what it is about the makeup of the Holbeins, but they're particularly pencils that are a bit crumbly. The Holbeins are really good at kind of pulling the colour and taking it with it, so you can kind of blend it like that quite nicely. A little bit white. Feels like she needs a bit more. I'll probably come back into here with a pen just to add a little bit more highlight to finish. Anywhere else? So still got these patterns at the bottom that you can't quite see. Now you can. These like half moons at the bottom. We've got the other half of these that I need to pull another colour in. I've got a stripe and these little bits and her plancy bit to finish her off. I just need to pick another colour. I think she's going to need another colour. I'm thinking of maybe a blue. What blue's this? Mermaid. Let's look at my sheet. That's that one, isn't it? I think I'm going to go with this one. So yeah, Mermaid Lagoon needs a sharpen. Oh, if I don't knock everything off in the meantime. So we'll try a little bit of this. Oh yeah, that's not too much of a jumping colour, is it? That's okay. I haven't planned these, can you tell? I'm literally just going with what's in front of me and what I feel like doing. If I'm honest, I'm not a great planner at my whatever I'm doing with colour. I just prefer to kind of get on with it really. Want something a bit lighter to go with it. Speckled egg is very light, isn't it? Oh, like, oh no, I think that's too light to go with that. Tumbled glass. Where's that one? Is that one? I can't recognise these yet. It's a bit of a learning curve. It's the advantage of my Luminance and Holbein, because they are my go-to. I don't really need to look what they're called or what it'll be like. I've used them so much. It's like any set of pencils that you use a lot, you just get used to them, don't you? And you know which one you want before you even think about it. Just put a bit more highlight in there. Okay, so I use the other darker blue down here, I think. And then the lighter one. What is it? Done with glass. I'm not very good at knowing the names of colours anyway, in any brand really. I know which one I want to pick up, but I won't necessarily know what it's called. I'm not very good at memorising the names. I just know what colour I want. So here I'm just using the white as a blender almost, really, just to smooth them together. But you do tend to lose a bit of the colour doing that, so if you want it dark, you kind of got to work it back in. I don't think I put any of this peacock feathers on these bottom patterns, did I? I think I just left it as the watercolour. So we'll add a bit of that as well. Now I'm looking at it. Ooh. Thinking I might edge these with metallic or a glittery gel pen, as it's a little pattern there. Let's get rid of that black at the bottom a bit, and that bit. Right, so I've got a fan, I've got these semicircles left to do. I think I want these metallic, so I'm going to leave those bits. But this might be a nice mix of a few different colours in that pattern. So I get the teals out. Where's the other teal I was using? That one. So I might do this pattern with this mix that I've got in my hand at the moment, which is all of the ones I've been using so far. So peacock feathers, Salvage Patina, Mermaid Lagoon and Tumbled Glass. Would have helped to add that in the camera, not just looking where I could see it. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Okay, so do I want another colour with them? I was thinking a bit of green, or maybe not that dark. Not that dark. Is that peel paint? No, that's Rustic Windows. Peel paint, oh yeah, Rustic Windows. Peel paint, I think is what I want, but which one is it? This one. More wasted pigment in my sharpening tub. Ugh. Yeah, I just needed a little bit of something else, I think, in here. Otherwise it's going to be a bit samey. Do with a lighter green, of which there isn't much. Will that do? That might work. What is this one? This one is Crushed Olive. So that's the greens. Ignore my panting dog again. She can go out if she wants. She chooses to stay in here panting like an idiot. She's my shadow when I'm back off work, and obviously this week been back at work. So yeah, she's a bit sad this week. She was not happy when I'm getting her up at 6 o'clock in the morning again so that I can go back to work. I wasn't happy when my 5 o'clock alarm went off either. Got to be honest. Ugh, I've not missed it. I think that's the worst bit for me, that getting up in the morning. I'm afraid I do like lie in bed. Wish I didn't, because it wastes your day, doesn't it? But I do like my sleep. As does my dog. Yeah, even she was like, no, not again. After being off for summer, it's a bit of a shock to the system. For us both. Right. It just a bit darker there. Just smooth it out a bit with that. Okay, so we've just got a lovely fan. What am I going to do with a fan? Do we go bright or subtle? That is the question. See, if it wasn't against a dress, I'd have had it pink, but obviously if we put it pink now, we're going to lose it in the background, so that's going to look daft. I'm half thinking maybe the greens, because we've only used them down there anyway. I'm going to do that. Do greens. Put my handful of things down. Yeah, they're quite nice to use dry. I'm wondering whether I'll use them more dry than I will wet. I use my Albert Duras quite a lot, and obviously you can use them dry, but I find they really start to hurt my hands if you're using them dry, because you do have to put quite a bit of pressure on to get a decent amount of pigment down if you're using them dry, and you know you're not going to wet it. Where's the lighter one? That one. So the lighter one was crushed olive. Has a bit more yellow in it, this one, I think, compared to the whatever the other green was that I just used. Peel paint. But I quite like the two of them together. They work quite nicely. And then a little bit of white. Same here. I'm just going to take the edges off them. Same down here. There we go, and then come back in just to add that dark shadow back in a bit more. So yeah, I've just got a little bit of hair things to do. Let's sharpen the pink again. Ugh, more pigment going in my tub, that's waste. Need to get some little containers, I think, to catch some of my sharpness if I'm going to keep these sharp, because it is a bit wasteful. So I'll have that, and I'm going to go back in with the same Holbein that I was using before, 429 rose pink, rather than using the other watercolour one, just because this is a slightly closer pink. Might touch a bit of red in there actually. Oh no, more pigment going in my sharpening bin. So this is Bound Oil. I'm not going to use much of it, literally just want to darken the centres. Might do the same in a bow. Started now. Looks nicer with that kind of, what is that pink called? I do like this pink, pickled raspberry. I have actually got the matching ink pad for this, but with a little bit of red over it, it really does shout. I like it. Might be my favourite colour out of this set. It's proper zingy. With a bit of red over. Under a fan, I think. Okay. And then yeah, just got the last few bits and pieces in her hair to finish up with. Go with the greens for the leaves, obviously. What are they? They're little upside down hearts. Did I put that? It's a bit too thin, I think. Need something with a bit of a finer point to get into there, I think. Then the ribbon, I think we'll go back to the teals for the ribbon. Carry on under there, don't we? Dope. Get carried away, don't notice the thing right in front of me. Okay, I think I'm just going to swap to get some of my pens out in a set. Oh no, no, let's get rid of that first, because now I've seen it, I can't leave it. Same with that one there. Okay, I'll be back in a sec, just get my gel pens out. Okay, as you can see, I've got a desk full of too much stuff now and nowhere to put them. But I've got a few gel pens out, so some decisions about what I'm going to go through. So there's some little holes in this pattern at the bottom that I kind of feel I need to fill with something. I think I'm going to go with this one, which is a Signo, perhaps the other way around, green, sparkling Signo green. If it works, that's a different matter. Scribble it on my pad. Oh good, it's not working. How annoying. This is the only thing that drives me mad with gel pens. Be enough to do these little circles, I think. And any glasses too, because these are pretty small. So yeah, I'll just pop a little bit of green in there. Don't know how well you can see that. Oh, a little bit there. Then I'm thinking I'm going to do this little spiral in the green. And maybe the first semicircle of these little patterns. Anything else? Nope. And then I've got the same pen but in pink. So which way round? So the pink Uniball, sparkling. Again, is it gonna work? Maybe. I'm just gonna do the centres of a little flower. I might just add a little bit of sparkle in a bow. She can have some on her eyelids, because why not? Then where else? This could go badly wrong, because these are not the finest of nibs on these pens, but I'm going to attempt to do the outer of the circles. And the pink, oh, would have helped if you could have seen. Stupid, sorry. Try and do the other one. Yeah, you can actually see this time. It's a little bit tricky. I'm basically not just dabbing the pen rather than trying to actually write with it, because the nib is too big for this little semicircle. Which fortunately these are still quite inky, so it's allowed me to do that. And I think I'm going to do a little belt as well in that. Okay, so the only bit that's bugging me is the bow a bit. is still green line on the bow is still very visible, isn't it? Just a sec. Did I just knock you in? Sorry. World's clumsiest woman. Yeah. So, as you can see, I've just got out some of my Artex acrylic marker. Mine's 32. No idea what colour it is because they helpfully haven't put a colour name on them. But I don't want the edge of the bow to be so dark. So this is what I love these pens for, because they are really good at just getting rid of the odd little bit of line that you don't want without making a big fuss about it. Quite often my luminous white will get rid of these things enough that it doesn't bother me, but just occasionally like that. The black is so strong and the colour is just too much for it to get rid of. Okay, the only other bit I was going to do was a bit of metallic on these lines at the bottom. I'm just thinking just the normal silver, the metallic, not the sparkling one this time, if mine is working. Yes, it's so just literally going to go over the lines a little bit. No, I'm not, because my pen's not going to work. There we go. Just adding more in now. Getting bored of trying to match it up. Just put loads in. I'd like to go over the little stars, but because they're so teeny tiny, I think they'll just look like a blob if I try and go over those. So move my glass up, and now the book's banging into my desk. I do not zoom back out because my desk looks like some kind of bomb has gone off. It's such a mess. But yeah, I think that's pretty much, you know me, there's probably little bits that I'll still faff about with, black lines and other bits of naff that make probably no difference to anybody else viewing it. But it's pretty much my first little lady done out of Rita Berman's brand new little tour around Asia with my also brand new watercolour woodless distress pencil from Tim Holtz. So they're two things together that are both pretty much brand new to me, but yeah, I really quite like some of these. So yeah, let me know in the comments, do you want me to do the other ones on the page? Do you want to watch it? Obviously I'll finish this page off, but would you like to see me finish the page off? I know I'm not much of a talker. Once I'm colouring, yeah, I'm concentrating, and I'm not great at just chatting on. I don't really have anything particularly exciting to say, so I totally get it if people don't want to watch it. I'm just happy to see me finish it and see what it looks like at the end. But yeah, just got two more ladies to do on this page, and obviously there's another 4 on the other, and obviously there's quite a lot of little details to do. But yeah, I'm quite happy to do a lady at a time on this page, and then maybe do the background and these little bits and pieces. But yeah, I'll see what you think, really. If no one's going to watch it, there's not much point in me filming it because it's quicker to just do it by myself. So let me know. Interested in watching it? Interested in me using a particular thing to do these ladies? Obviously today I've used a combination of watercolour pencils, my normal Luminous and Holbein, gel pens. I think that was pretty much it, wasn't it? What else have I got in it? Oh, my Artex marker. There's probably something else buried alive on my table as well. But thank you for watching. If you have, hopefully it was interesting to you. Bye bye.